My parents demanded I give my baby to my sister who couldn't conceive. Think of her pain, Mom begged. When I said no, they hired lawyers. My response left their faces pale. I was 8 months pregnant when my sister called crying. She had just found out she could never have children. I felt terrible for her. I really did. But I never expected what came next. 2 days later, my parents showed up at my apartment with my sister behind them. Mom sat on my couch and looked at my belly like it belonged to someone else. "We need to talk about the baby," she said. I thought they wanted to plan a shower or something. I was wrong. "Your sister deserves to be a mother," Dad said. "And you're only 23. You have time." She doesn't. I laughed because I thought it was a joke. Nobody laughed with me. "You want me to give her my baby?" I asked. My sister wiped her eyes. "You don't even have a stable job. I have a house. I have a husband. I can give this child everything." Mom grabbed my hand. "Think of her pain. You don't understand what she's going through." I pulled my hand back. "This is my child. I'm not giving away my child." Dad stood up. "You're being selfish. You're young. You'll have more kids. This might be her only chance at motherhood." I told them to leave. They didn't speak to me for 2 weeks. I thought it was over. Then the letter came. My sister had hired a lawyer. The letter said I was mentally unfit to raise a child. It said I had a history of instability. It said my living situation was unsuitable for an infant. It requested an emergency custody evaluation before the baby was even born. I sat on my kitchen floor and read that letter 4 times. My own family was trying to take my baby before she was even here. I called my best friend Rosa. She came over immediately. She read the letter and her face went red. "They're lying," she said. "Every single thing in here is a lie." I knew that, but lies on paper still scare judges. Rosa's brother was a family lawyer in another city. She called him that night. He agreed to help me for a reduced rate. His name was Dennis, and he didn't waste time. "They're claiming you have mental health issues," he said on our first call. "Do you?" "I saw a counselor twice after a bad breakup 3 years ago," I said. "That's it." "Good. They're claiming your apartment is unsafe." "Is it?" "It's small, but it's clean. I have a crib set up. I have everything ready." "Even better. Now here's what we're going to do." Dennis told me to document everything. Every text, every voicemail, every interaction. He told me to get statements from my doctor, my employer, my landlord. He told me to stay calm and let them dig their own hole. My parents kept calling. Mom left voicemails crying about how I was tearing the family apart. Dad texted saying I was throwing away my sister's only chance at happiness. My sister sent a long email about how she would be a better mother than I ever could. I saved all of it. The custody evaluation happened 2 weeks before my due date. A social worker came to my apartment. She looked at the crib, the clothes, the diapers stacked neatly in the closet. She asked about my support system. I told her about Rosa, about my coworkers, about my neighbor who offered to help with night feedings. Then she asked about my family. I showed her the letter. I showed her the texts. I showed her the voicemail where my mom said, "Just sign the papers and this can all be over." The social worker's face changed. She wrote something down and thanked me for my time. The hearing was scheduled for 3 days after my daughter was born. I was exhausted. I had barely slept, but I showed up with my baby in my arms and Dennis by my side. My parents sat on the other side of the courtroom with my sister and her expensive lawyer. Mom wouldn't look at me. Dad stared straight ahead. My sister kept dabbing her eyes with a tissue. Their lawyer went first. He talked about my sister's stable home, her loving marriage, her desperate desire to be a mother. He painted me as young, unprepared, overwhelmed. Then Dennis stood up. He submitted my doctor's letter confirming I had no mental health diagnoses. He submitted my landlord's statement confirming I was a reliable tenant. He submitted my employer's letter confirming I had been promoted twice in 2 years. Then he submitted the texts. He submitted the voicemails. He submitted the email where my sister wrote, "You're too stupid to raise a child anyway." The judge read everything slowly. My parents looked at their lawyer. Their lawyer looked at the table. The judge set down the papers and looked directly at my sister. "You filed a petition claiming the mother was unfit. What I do see is a coordinated campaign of harassment against a pregnant woman by her own family." My sister started crying. "I just wanted to be a mother. That doesn't entitle you to someone else's child." She dismissed the case. She looked at me one more time. "You have a beautiful baby. Take her home." Dad grabbed my arm in the hallway. "We were just trying to help your sister. You made a mistake." "No, you made a mistake. You tried to take my daughter, and now you don't get to know her." I pulled my arm away.